So, I want to talk about a few ideas I have to make a device that puts in beneficial bacteria into your body for your use and how to make it better. So, sort of probiotics, prebiotics, in that whole field. Now, what I first want to mention is that this could have many, many benefits compared to a couple of ways of administering medicine for the same thing. Let's talk about first digestive ones like bino, lactate, or something like that, made with enzymes. Well, what makes those enzymes? Microbes. So if instead put the microbes directly in the body, there'll be many benefits in that you don't have to constantly take the pill. It's more distributed throughout the whole digestive tract and at the site quicker. You the storage it'll be less of a every there'll be less waste because you only take a pill a few times. The storage of it will be easier. But so on and so on. You can also imagine this for other medicines that have longer use. Instead of taking a ton of pills, you could have one or two pills you take, and they last you for a very long time. Another thing that could be done with this is you could use it to replace bad bacteria in your body to help boost your immune system or something, or after you have a therapy that gets rid of a lot of the bacteria in the body that's good, you put in good bacteria again in your body so you don't get an infection. Another thing is that these bacteria could and I'm sorry I'm saying bacteria, but I mean microbes more in general, is that they could be made to be smarter than conventional medicine. All microbes and all creatures have ability to sense the environment and respond accordingly to some extent. So you could make bacterial microbes that have this genetically engineered into the body or naturally have it occurring to administer certain chemicals more depending on other signals or adapt in certain ways. Now you might be like, oh, purple bacteria getting into the environments and things in the bacteria and all that noise. Well, that is a legit concern. It's also a concern that they give up the DNA to other bacteria or something, and as ones become more resistant to drugs or gain new abilities. There's a couple ways around this, which I've discussed previously, is you can make organisms that have a limited amount of times they can replicate, so they won't spread out in the environment. There's also just that sheer quantity of them compared to ones in the outside world is a lot less. You can also make it so they live a lot better in the body compared to outside the body and quickly die outside the body. Another thing is to look at more natural roots that are more similar to stuff that already happens in nature. And there's other ways we can, instead of using bacteria, which I keep saying we can use more microbes that are less susceptible to things like yeast or something. But besides that, let's focus on how to get them better in the body with the fighting chance. Because many of them, you take probiotics now, they go in one end, they come out the other end. Well, one of them I have an idea for is to get them light up is to have the bacteria actually coat a particle. This particle would be kind of a quick feed for the bacteria. And this will have or the microbe again will have the necessary nutrients for them to grow and give them a head start. Then you could have even coating around the bacteria so that like a sandwich that helps them stick to the body in different locations, parts of the digestive tract where they most best should live. Protects them a little longer. Maybe that coating slowly dissolves and gives them more nutrients. That's an ideal one there. Another one is to genetically engineer them so they have to colonize the body a little better. That mean an example way to do that might be having it. So first, they stay in the spore form for a long time, whatever form the most hardy. But then there's a quick switch when you're eating and digesting them that switches them to the active form where they start being alive again. That happens pretty quickly. And maybe that switch is something internal from your body. Maybe it's something to do with how you eat and digest the food. So you cross up the pill and the crossing accent moves around some enzymes and activates enzymes that make them active again. Maybe you drink something, maybe it's something else you drink right afterwards. There could be a variety of reasons right there we could do it. Another idea is to swallow stuff to actually, before you take the probiotic mixer, clears out bacteria from your body. There's a bunch of ways of doing them. None of them are the most pleasant, but anything that flushes out your digestive tract a lot could potentially do this. So think about colonoscopy routine to some extent. Also, swallowing stuff that has mostly bacteria free, that's mostly fiber, and you don't digest, could do that. And you can combine both routines. And then if you quickly swallow the bacteria in large quantities I'm talking about, they could more easily replace stuff that's just now gone missing and give them a leg up. You would have to be careful in this procedure, though, of not giving opportunities for bad bacteria or bad microbes to replace the stuff you just flushed away, or causing, and also there's the pooping incidents, so like that, which could infect by diseases. There's a variety of ways around that, but this might be more of a specialized case of stuff. Another thing we could do is work on how to release it throughout the body to maximize its usage in the economy. And some ideas to make the releasing a little bit better is that we could look at ways that, for example, releasing it slowly so it doesn't all colonize one area but spread out, and so that it has less limited growth. Because when everything is tightly packed, bacteria or microbes more easily bump into each other and use up the local resources. We could have it so it releases in certain places and digestive tract more. And certain places might be the places that are more hospitable. And the environment in the digestive tract is not constant. Different enzymes will release different parts of the digestive tract, and so on and so on. So having it go to different locations might be beneficial depending on nutrients and enzymes and stuff are happening during the digestive tract phase. And it also might be a little bit different from each person to person, exactly the location. So having it release based on some enzyme or local conditions might actually give a better way of feeling that out and more of an optimum. You could also do it that you can make this a powder that you just take a lot of over different times of day and stuff like that, and then sometimes a day your digestive tract, or depending on what you're eating, works differently, so it releases in different parts of your body. If we can make it into a form that maybe you cook with or eat with a little bit, so you use it. Now you can't really cook stuff at too high a temperature. Maybe it's like a yogurt sauce or something. So some ideas now to investigate this stuff is that right now we don't fully understand the digestive tract very, very well. And digestive tract vary a lot from animal to animal. So that makes it even more difficult to really study well. One idea to study the digestive tract better would be to have these things you put in the body release certain chemical signals, depending on local conditions or markers that then we can analyze when they come out of the body. And that way we can build up a repertoire. We might start this with animals, then move before we get better data, then move on to human beings, which is much more accurate. The digestive tract is pretty different, but maybe we can use it to help extrapolate and fill in blanks. We'll get an idea that we do in a bunch of different animals, from rats to mice, and see how stuff scales or changes depending on certain variables to predict how it changes in the human body. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps to 10 out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year and 4,000 watch hours, which is really hard. With your help, I think can do it. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, comments, or suggestions, please leave in the comment section below. Again, thank you very much. Goodbye.